In the heart of rural farmlands, a silent invasion is reshaping the lives of those who till the soil. Enormous feral hogs, relentless in their pursuit of food, are carving paths of destruction through fields, orchards, and pastures. These creatures aren't just a nuisance, they're a force of nature, cunning, powerful, and multiplying at an alarming rate. Farmers, once focused on nurturing crops and livestock, now find themselves on the front lines of a grueling battle, armed with ingenuity, determination, and whatever tools they can muster to protect their way of life. What began as a regional problem has spiraled into a nationwide crisis, with these invasive beasts leaving chaos in their wake across countless communities. From the rolling hills of the Midwest to the sprawling plains of the South, no farmland is safe from their reach. These hogs tear through rows of corn, trample delicate vegetable patches, and uproot entire fields in a single night, costing farmers millions in lost harvests. The destruction isn't limited to crops. Fences are toppled, irrigation systems shredded, and even small livestock fall prey to these aggressive intruders. For rural families, the toll is more than financial. It's emotional, a constant weight of uncertainty as each dusk brings the threat of another raid. The feral hog's biology makes them a nearly unstoppable adversary. A single sow can produce multiple litters annually, each yielding up to 8 piglets that mature rapidly and begin breeding within months. This explosive growth outpaces even the most aggressive efforts to curb their numbers. Hunting, trapping, and culling campaigns barely scratch the surface as new generations flood the landscape. These animals are not just prolific, they're adaptable, thriving in dense forests, open fields, and even the edges of small towns. Their intelligence is staggering. Farmers and hunters recount stories of hogs evading traps with ease, learning to avoid bait, and even outsmarting tracking dogs. When cornered, they don't hesitate to charge, their razor-sharp tusks and sheer mass making them a dangerous foe. Encounters with these beasts can turn deadly in an instant, leaving even seasoned outdoorsmen wary. Traditional defenses like sturdy fences or chemical repellents are little more than temporary obstacles to these determined invaders. Faced with an enemy that seems to anticipate their every move, rural communities have had to rethink their strategies. Across the country, farmers like Sarah Thompson and her neighbors have transformed their fields into fortified zones. They've invested in motion-activated cameras, electrified barriers, and packs of trained guard dogs to hold the line. In some regions, groups of volunteers patrol the fields at night, their trucks equipped with high-powered spotlights and rifles. These efforts are not without risk. Every outing into the darkness carries the chance of a dangerous confrontation. Yet doing nothing is not an option. A single herd can destroy months of labor in hours, wiping out a family's income and leaving them scrambling to recover. Sarah, a third-generation farmer, describes the sinking feeling of waking to find her soybean fields torn apart, the once neat rows reduced to a muddy wasteland. For her, it's not just about the money. It's about preserving a legacy built on decades of hard work. State and federal agencies have stepped in, but their efforts often feel like a drop in the bucket. Wildlife experts deploy drones to track hog movements, mapping their paths with GPS and analyzing satellite imagery to predict where they'll strike next. These high-tech solutions provide valuable data, but they can't keep up with the hog's relentless expansion. Researchers estimate that feral hogs now roam across nearly 40 states, their numbers swelling into the millions. The economic impact is staggering. Billions of dollars in damages each year, from ruined crops to compromised infrastructure. But the cost to rural communities runs deeper. Families live in a state of constant vigilance, their nights interrupted by the distant sound of rustling or the eerie grunts of a nearby herd. For many, the rhythm of farm life has been replaced by a cycle of preparation, defense, and recovery. The ecological stakes are just as high. Feral hogs don't just threaten farmland, they disrupt entire ecosystems. Their rooting churns up soil, destroys native plants, and pollutes waterways, driving out other wildlife. In forests, they're digging upends young trees, while in wetlands, they're wallowing muddies streams and erodes banks. Conservationists face a tough choice: allow the hogs to overrun delicate habitats or implement aggressive control measures that could ripple through the food chain. Some areas have experimented with innovative solutions like fertility control baits or large-scale trapping systems, but results are mixed. The hog's resilience is almost admirable. They swim across rivers to colonize new territories, dig through rocky soil for roots, and shrug off harsh weather that would deter lesser creatures. Their social structure adds another layer of complexity. Moving in tight-knit groups led by a dominant female, they communicate with an almost uncanny awareness, dodging danger and coordinating their raids with precision. For farmers like Javier Ruiz, the fight feels personal. His family's orchard in the southeast has been hit repeatedly, with entire sections of peach trees stripped bare by hogs in search of fallen fruit. Javier has spent thousands on reinforced fencing and hired local hunters to patrol his land, but the hogs keep coming. He's joined forces with nearby farmers, creating a network to share alerts about sightings and coordinate defenses. In some regions, technology has offered a glimmer of hope. Thermal imaging drones now scan fields at night, pinpointing herds before they can do serious damage. Automated traps, triggered by sensors, have captured dozens of hogs at a time, though the animals often learn to avoid them. These advancements show promise, but they're expensive, and many small farmers struggle to afford them. Javier admits that every victory feels temporary, a brief reprieve before the next wave arrives. The scale of the problem has sparked calls for a coordinated national response. Experts argue that fragmented state-by-state efforts are no match for an enemy that respects no borders. Without a unified strategy, the hogs will continue their march, claiming new territories and threatening not just agriculture but suburban areas as well. Already, reports of hogs wandering into backyards and golf courses are becoming more common, raising concerns about human safety. In rural communities, the fight has forged a new sense of unity. Neighbors who once competed for market share now share resources, from trap designs to hunting schedules. Annual meetings bring together farmers, scientists, and wildlife officials to brainstorm solutions, blending old-school knowledge with cutting-edge innovation. Yet even as they adapt, the hogs evolve faster, learning to skirt traps, avoid hunters, and retreat to dense thickets where pursuit is nearly impossible. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows over fields scarred by hoofprints, the tension is palpable. Farmers like Sarah and Javier know that each night could bring another assault. The sound of snapping branches or a faint squeal in the distance is enough to set hearts racing. Yet they refuse to back down. This is their land, their livelihood, their heritage. The battle against feral hogs is more than a fight for crops. It's a test of endurance, a clash between human resilience and the raw power of nature. Each season brings new challenges, but also new opportunities to learn, adapt, and fight back. The hogs may be relentless, but so are the people who stand against them. In this ongoing struggle, every small victory, a field saved, a herd turned back, feels like a triumph. The war is far from over, but for those who call the countryside home, surrender is not an option. The story of this conflict is still being written, one night, one field, one determined farmer at a time,